As I'm sure most of you know, I like using my little 18 to 55mm lens. I use it most of the time. Almost everything I shoot in Asia and actually on my workshops is with the little 18 to 55. I find it a very versatile little lens. So I thought, I'm out in the woods, I've just made a video about moving the camera and blurring things and finding compositions. Why don't we mix it up a bit? Why don't we put on the wide angle lens and go for some low level action? I do like a little bit of low level woodland action. So let's just spend 10 minutes, have a little walk around and see what we can find in the way of low level woodland action. So I've got the wide lens on, I'm going to put it on 10mm, that's as wide as it'll go, and just shoot from down low, because you can get some really interesting shots. It's about perspective. Now, not the sort of compressing of perspective thing, which I've caused arguments about, but more about, you know, the point of view. It's about, you know, looking at something from a different point of view, from an angle that you don't normally see it. Let's go have a little walk, see what we can find. Ooh. Now, that's pretty much the obvious one, isn't it? We've got nice straight tree trunks, we've got blue sky, it's going to make an interesting shot. So is there anything we're going to need to do that we can, or can we do with it to enhance it? What are the things we should look for? Well, let's have a little look. 10mm, remember, sorry about the contrasty light going on there, viewers. I can't really see the camera because I'm getting a little bit blinded. But anyway, bear with me, contrasty light. So, straight up in the air. We often forget to look straight up in the air because there's all sorts of things exciting going on up there. Works in cities too. So let me get it focused and get a bit of video on the scene for you. Here we go, a bit of video. Now then, that looks quite nice like this, but look, we can turn it. Don't forget, you can turn the camera and look around and see what works best. Now, I quite like that. I don't know why, I kind of like that because we got that clear bit up in the top right-hand corner of the frame. And I think it looks a bit more interesting. Look, you see little movements. We can sort of move that composition around. I like that. I like having the tree coming up in the sort of, you know, the tree's coming up almost from the left. It's kind of a vertical shot, isn't it? So that instead of having the circle right smack in the middle, which is the obvious, how about if we just move that camera around a little bit and make it a little bit more like that? I think that's quite interesting. Let's just kill that video and see if we can take the shot. It stopped quickly that time, it usually misbehaves. I've gone into shade, haven't I? I'm trying to move around so you can see me better. Sorry guys, you're gonna have to just put up with it. Right, I don't want to lose the light. So what was my composition? It was somewhere around here. What sort of depth of field do I want? Well, fair bit, but it doesn't have to be anything bonkers. I'm shooting with a 10mm lens. Let's go for a middle aperture of about f8, because f8 is, oh, it's a lovely aperture, as my mentor Billy Passotti used to say. It's a lovely aperture. It's a good aperture, it's a sweet spot. It's a nice part of the lens to be using. So, here we go. Let's just get our shot. Where was that composition I came up with? I wanted to have that little hole of blue, the blue hole, sort of top right. I don't think I've got it quite the same. There it was. It was more like that, I think. But it's still a nice composition. I like that. Let's just shoot that. And as always, I like to check my histogram in the back of the camera because I want to make sure that it's okay. See how the lights change? Look, just while I've been filming that, you notice I've gone into shade. These little pools of light, they move very quickly. Histogram says good. I like that. I might shoot one more just to see if I can find exactly the composition I had in the video. But I'm not going to bore you while I do it. If I find it, I'll stick it on screen now. So let's get right down onto the forest floor. I've got to do this one quickly because the light's changing. Let's hit the video. Right, you can see what I've got. I've got this little fir cone. It's a bit out of focus because I haven't really had time to focus the video camera. What I'm kind of watching is the light. It's just kind of on the edge of a shadow and it's almost perfect for what I want to do. So let's just stop that. What kind of depth of field do I want? I want a very shallow one, don't I? I'm going to have to take this real quick because the light's changing. Right, here we go. That's the shot that I want. I had to take that because you're going to lose it. Now in a moment you may see the light change because the shade is coming across that fir cone. But I'm going to take one more because I want it a bit lower in my frame. That's better there. Right, forgive me for rushing you, but you can't wait for the light. The light does what the light does and we can't wait for it. What sort of depth of field did I need to do that? I want a shallow one, don't I? Because if I use a much deeper depth of field, let's go to, it's kind of like F11 here, that little fir cone gets kind of lost in the background, doesn't it? I want it to stand out, so I want to use my widest aperture. I'm using a very short lens, and I'm as close as I can get. I'm at 10mm, and I'm as close as I can get and still focus, pretty much. There we go. Look at that. In fact, that's looking quite nice. Let's change the angle of the shot a bit. You've got to kind of sit and work with it, but you can see in those few shots, the light on the fir cone has changed quite a bit. So I want a shallow depth of field. With a wide angle lens, you've got masses of depth of field, so it's very hard to get one. You've got to be right on top of it. Look, there's the fir cone, there's the camera. Let me see if I can just roll a little bit of video to kind of show you where we are. Here we go. So there's my fir cone. Look, it's right in front of the camera. So look, as I move around, look, you only got to move the camera a little bit and you're changing compositions. But you can also see, look, along the top here, we've got this little highlight, haven't we? We've got this little highlight going on. This is the light as it's moved. That line of light was just kind of here when I was taking the shot. It was right on the edge. And that's what gave that beautiful soft light to the cone. If I stop the video and just take the shot again, you can see we've got a completely different shot. Look, this has happened in a few short seconds. Now we've got that highlight and it's sneaking down over the little bank of moss. Isn't it exciting? Look, I can watch it. It's watching it come. Let's just take another shot. You see, look, we're doing this in real time. You see the difference already? Look, I'm not doing anything fancy. This is the sun doing it, guys. This is celestial stuff going on. This is real-time waiting. I'm enjoying this little exercise. I didn't expect it, because taking this shot has actually given me an idea for something else we can do. You know, we're down low. We've sort of done something looking up into the sky. We're down low here looking at a fir cone, and I'm giving you a little extra lighting tutorial as it goes on. Actually, the picture's changed again. I think also the focus changed as well. I think I got my focus. That's better. Now, you see, just flick between those two. See how that light is sneaking its way down across the edge. Look, it was up there when I started showing you. Now it's come down here. It's only about a minute or two, isn't it? But I've had an idea while we've been lying on the ground watching the light travel across here. I've been thinking, okay, so we're down low, we're looking across at something, we're looking across at our fir cone. We've also done looking up into the trees. So how about if we could get down low and shoot up looking through something and go up into the trees from down low? I think that could be quite good fun. I know we're kind of doing it here. Now, I'm going to take a short break and come back, because I reckon in about another 60 seconds or so, in fact I'm not going to take a short break, I'm going to let you watch it happen. So let me just roll some video and leave the camera still and let you watch that light move down onto the fir cone. Let me just make sure I've got my camera in the right place. I think I have. No, I haven't. I've got my autofocus on. Sorry, autofocus with the video is not a great idea. So let me just switch that off to manual. Get my shot set up and roll some video. And I think that was enough for you to see that these little light pools on the ground, they move pretty fast, so don't hang around. So what about my idea? Let's go and execute it. Now, you know I have a bit of a penchant for putting the sun into my pictures. You probably see me do it out in France, in Egisheim, the prettiest village. But how about this? Because I'm just thinking, we've got some little ferns going on down here. We've got little pools of light, look, going on in these ferns. How about using that and some trees to get that kind of lost child in the woods sort of a thing? But let's make it a bit happier. Let's get some sun into it. How about that? Now, I've got a great opportunity here to use some bright ferns down here. Let me just get some video going for you so you can see what Browne's on about. Hang on a moment, bear with me, because I have to swap a few things around as I do it. Cool. You can see straight away that looks pretty good, doesn't it? You know, now I can move around as I move the camera. You see how the sun moves. Remember how I did it out there in Egisheim? I quite like putting the sun on the edge of something. Look, sort of there, somewhere like that. I think that looks pretty cool. But I really like using these little ferns in the foreground down here, these ones. I think you can see in the video camera. I can't actually see the video camera's monitor from here. But let's just pop that low and see what happens if we go with a shot, something like that. And look, as I tilt the camera up and up and up, I like getting, you know, let's get out in the woods and look up, get that camera right down there. Look at that, that's going to make a great little composition. So let's go through it, let's do our shot. Kill the video. What do we need to do that thing with the sun? Can you remember? Yep, real small aperture. So that's what we got to do. So let's line our shot up, get the camera nice and level. Look at that. Now I want to get the sun kind of nicely over to one side, make sure my camera's level. I don't want a wonky camera, I want to be looking up as much as possible. Look at that. I love it. That's a real, you know, I remember being a kid lost in some foxgloves once. Foxgloves, if you don't live in the UK, they're big, tall sort of flowers, purple sort of, you know, things. They're probably only about, I don't know, that high, but when I was little, I got lost in a woodland of them, and that picture reminds me of it. You see what I mean? Looking up with a wide lens. Get out in the woods, look up. It's really, really great fun. Again, see you later, guys.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified each time we upload one of our cool photography videos, or for more great photo tips, workshops and training, come and see us at our website, photographycourses.biz.